Alright, guys, it's time for Snap Count Monday after week 2, and I'm happy to report that the data is a lot better. Not only did we do a pretty good job, I think, maintaining balance from last week, which, again, I think that's one of the things we did well last week, but it was also over a very much superior sample size. So, what I mean by that is, as you can see, just off the bump here, as we're taking a look at the snap counts on the offense, we had way more plays on offense. We ran 72 plays. Now, many of those plays were in overtime, but it's still a big push in the right direction. 72 plays on offense. If you're running 72 plays on offense, you're going to win a lot of games. So, that's great. Now let's talk about the breakdown for those individual players, how much they played. Running backs, K9 played 44 snaps. Charbonnet played 19 snaps. So both of those guys basically got an increased share of snaps, roughly equivalent to how many more snaps the offense played. So both those guys basically just saw the same share, just uh, the same piece of a bigger pie, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. So that's pretty good. And DJ Dallas saw 9 snaps. So we're pulling that back just a little bit, I guess. Pulling back the DJ Dallas snaps a little bit here, as Charbonnet shows that he's worthy of some trust, because I saw some good blocking from Charbonnet in this game. So to me, Charbonnet was very impressive in that regard. He showed that he can be a third down back, showed he's somebody that you can trust in those roles as a blocker, as a pass catcher. And I think that's going to allow him to play even more as the season goes on. So, yeah, 9 snaps for DJ, and of course, McIntosh is still hurt. Wide receivers, again, kind of the same thing. It's the same portion of the pie, but it's a bigger pie. Metcalf missed part of this game with an injury and still had 60 snaps. Lockett had 61, so both those guys are pretty much even on the season now. And JSN had 40. So JSN's playing more than half the snaps. Eventually, I think he's going to play more, but right now, with the situation at tackle, we have to be a little bit careful here. We can't be putting 3 receivers out there all the time and leaving our tackles on islands. We need to be putting tight ends in the game a lot. So I think this is pretty reasonable with where we are right now as an offense. So JSN gets 40 snaps. Derek Young still not healthy. Jake Bobo got 17 snaps. And by the way, his run block rate on PFF is incredible. It's like 92.3 or something. So Jake Bobo is making an impact on this offense even if he's not catching the ball, and Cody Thompson gets 1 snap. Okay, now we're moving along to tight end here. This one's pretty simple. All 3 guys got almost the same number of snaps. Disley got 38, Parkinson got 37, Fant got 34. All 3 guys playing about half the game. And as you can see so far this season, all 3 guys are playing almost equal amounts, little less than half the game, 45%, 45, 48% approximately. Once we get our tackles back, I imagine they're going to go back down to playing a little less than half, but for now we need them more because of the situation with Lucas and Cross. Offensive line, pretty much what you would expect, nothing radical here, except the one thing that is notable: Evan Brown missed 6 snaps in this game, and Oluwatimi filled in for those 6. And Oluwatimi played fine. Oluwatimi played respectably. So, welcome to the NFL, Oluwatimi. No issues there. Everybody else played all 72 snaps. The obvious issue here is that we have 2 key guys missing a lot of time here, but that was mitigated yesterday because Forsyth and Curhan played pretty well. So, pretty good stuff on the offensive side of the ball here in terms of snap counts. I like the balance. The slight customizations to this snap count array is easily explainable when you consider the fact that our offensive linemen are not where they should be right now. Things are a little bit messed up because of that, but I like the array of players that were put on the field throughout this game by Shane Waldron. All right, now we jump on over to the defensive side of the ball, and again, big step in the right direction, 66 snaps. So before overtime started, our offense and defense had almost the same number of snaps. The offense was able to overtake a little bit because the overtime session the defense never had to play. But before overtime started, it was basically even. That's a recipe for success. Obviously, you want it to be imbalanced in favor of the offense, but even is going to get it done most of the time with this team. So let's take a look at how things got split up. Draymond Jones, I still feel like he's playing a little too much, but we just don't have the defensive lineman right now to really cover for him. So he's got 52 snaps out of 66. So he's played almost 73% of the snaps through 2 games. I know he's your best player. I know you paid him some money, but modern day defensive linemen are not playing that much. Like, great example is Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is playing less than half of Philadelphia's snaps. And he's doing all these destructive things. He's getting all this pass rush, all this push. He's playing, like, I think 40% of the snaps. And that's a big reason why he's able to eat when he does play. So I wish we could do something. Jarran Reed, step in the right direction here. 42 snaps for him. So he's still right behind Jones in terms of snap share. I know there's nothing we can do because we don't really have other nose tackles and we need Reed out there as much as possible. But I look at this and I just see a problem. Now, Draymond Jones, it's a little more understandable to me because he's supposed to be a really good player. He's supposed to be an elite defensive lineman. Jarran Reed is pretty jaggy, maybe a little bit better than jaggy, and he played good in this game. But I don't think he should be out there this much. I think that's a recipe for disaster, and I know it's too late to do that much about it, but we need Mike Morris back at some point, or we need to bring in somebody like a Chris Wormley, Matt Ioannidis type who can at least play snaps and allow these guys to... I know we're never going to get to the point where everybody's playing less than half the snaps, but it's got to be better than this, I believe. Like Mario Edwards. Mario Edwards played 28 snaps in this game. Through 2 games, he's played 35% of the snaps. That's really good. That's perfect for him. And Mario Edwards played a pretty decent game, I think. I think he's heading the right direction here. So to me, that's where you kind of want to be here with a guy like a Mario Edwards. And to me, Mario Edwards and Jarran Reed, there's not a huge difference in quality between those players. So I wish we just had a little more balance here. Mike Morris didn't play. Cam Young actually played a good amount, 17 snaps, and I thought he was pretty good. I like what I see from Cam Young in this game. He made a play in the backfield. Respectable. Nothing over the top, nothing superstar stuff, nothing superstar quality, but he filled in and did his job. And at the end of the day, his job is to help against the run. Cam Young is here to help against the run because he sure as hell is not here to rush the passer. And he contributed positively in that area. Miles Adams only got 4 snaps, which is disappointing to me. I thought he was going to get some good snaps in this game with no Mike Morris, but I don't know. Maybe we don't think he's any good. I don't know why you wouldn't give him some burn. Give Draymond some blow. Give him the opportunity to rest. He's what we got. Like, you've had him on the roster for a few years now. Prove that that time was valuable. I like Miles Adams. I want to see him more. I like that guy. But that's your defensive line. I don't know. This is the one area I think we need some work, but it's hard to do that much at this point in the season, admittedly. Linebacker, Bobby Wagner plays every snap, 66. He's played every snap so far this season. Devin Bush missed the game with an injury. So Jordan Brooks played almost every snap, 57 of 66, and he played, again, I think pretty good. I swear he looks better than he did before the injury. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, but I thought he looked good out there for the second game in a row. He's played almost 75% of the snaps through 2 games, and this is coming off a major injury, so hats off to him, period. Okay. Edge rusher. No Mafe means a bigger load on everybody else, but we did do a good job of getting Tyreek Smith in this game a little bit so it didn't get too out of hand. Like, Nwosu played a lot in this game. He played like 80% of the snaps, 53 of 66. So he's at 78% overall on the season. I would like to scale that back a little bit. I think if you leave him out there, that right now we need to do it. I understand this is not necessarily anything the team is doing wrong. Mafe was hurt. We needed Nwosu out there more. But that is a lot of snaps for any edge rusher. And Nwosu's good, and I know we gave him money, but he's not TJ Watt. He's not Bosa. He's not Myles Garrett. I'd like to see this scaled back a little bit. But again, I understand you do what you have to do with no Mafe. Darrell Taylor also had to play a lot, 46 of 66 snaps, not ideal at all. And you can see that when Darrell Taylor's in the game, he gets exploited in run defense. It's just the way that it is. And hopefully, at some point, we can work out a situation where Taylor's the only one out there, only out there on pass rushing downs. Derek Hall saw an increase in his snaps, 24 out of 66, so he's up to 30% on the season. So he's actually getting out there more than I expected, although that's mostly because Mafe was hurt. And Tyreek Smith gets 9 snaps. Didn't seem to play particularly well, but we needed him out there, and he's grinding. He's grinding. That's all you can say. So, need a little bit better stuff going on this defense in terms of rotations, I think. But at the same time, injuries are kind of forcing our hand here. So it is what it is. Cornerback Tariq Woolen played 11 snaps before getting hurt. Sounds like he'll be okay, by the way. We'll hear more about it later. Witherspoon plays every snap, plays a pretty respectable game. Very happy with that. But what is going on with Mike Jackson, guys? Like, it's not just last season. Mike Jackson was one of the most hyped players by the Seahawks coming out of training camp. Pete went on and on and on about how Mike Jackson looks amazing in camp and looks completely different. Now he can't even get burned in a game, not one snap in a game where Woolen gets hurt after 11 plays. How does this happen? I know the preseason was bad, but it's not like, how can you go from training camp superstar to this? And training camp superstar would be one thing if he had never done anything before in his career, but he was solid last year. He was an okay player. Now he can't even get on the field when Woolen goes down. It's crazy. And I know Trey Brown had a notable game, but Trey Brown also gave up a lot. Trey Brown also made a lot of mistakes, so you can't tell me that Trey Brown's doing everything perfectly out there and holding Mike Jackson out. Anyway, I can't figure that one out, but Trey Brown, 55 snaps. Kobe Bryant, 49, continues to really not make a positive impact. He does not look good to me out there at all. Q Blue Kelly, no snaps, and Artie Burns plays 15. You see, like, look at this. Artie Burns gets snaps before Mike Jackson now. And I know Artie Burns had a good preseason and he's a good player. I'm not knocking Artie Burns. But how did Mike Jackson fall like this? Mike Jackson may as well be Q Blue Kelly at this point. Feels like he's just not going to get on the field no matter what. He may as well be Trey Flowers. How did this happen so quickly? Anyway, safety, as always, Adams does not play, Reed does not play, Diggs and Love play every snap, as they did in the first game. Nothing to really talk about here, just typical stuff on this defense. Yeah, those are your snap counts for week 2. Better. I really like what we're doing offensively. I think Waldron's doing a really good job keeping the balance and doing what needs to be done right now. Defensively, I feel like we would benefit tremendously if only we had a little bit of a better rotation up front. It doesn't have to be a superstar either. It doesn't have to be some amazing player. But again, Jalen Carter is 3rd in the league in QB pressures, and he's playing less than half the snaps. If he was playing 75% of the snaps, he would be useless for some of those snaps because he'd get tired. So if that's the case for a guy like Jalen Carter, I damn know it's like the case for somebody like Jarran Reed, who, respect to Jarran Reed, he's played well so far this season overall, I think. That's pretty jaggy, okay? That's pretty dang jaggy. So, something to think about. But, hey, hopefully Mike Morris gets back at some point. Hopefully we bring somebody in. Hopefully Miles Adams gets burned. And, yeah. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later today. See you guys on Twitch tonight during the 2 Monday Night Football games. Catch y'all later.